the distance learner. And there have been studies that say that achieving that social connectiveness is what the students and faculty want. It's increasing interactivity, etc., is something that we should be moving towards. Bottom line is that there are many, many online students today, and here's some statistics that prove that. And there are more people that want to learn asynchronously. Maybe not necessarily do they want to, but life necessitates it, so that they can be do all the things that we people do. So we see that online faculty, we're no longer the sages on the stage. We're not the one that's lecturing in the front of the 300 student classroom, you know, flipping the PowerPoints or writing on the chalkboards or whiteboards. Effective faculty are truly guides on the side, at least as in the asynchronous classroom. We're the facilitators of learning, much different than just the straight lecturers. Effective online faculty are encouragers. I spend more of my time doing encouraging than actually grading, etc. So the concept is that I believe that servant leadership is the model that effective online faculty members should adhere to. At their finest, effective online faculty members are true servant leaders. Now, I'm not talking in the biblical sense of a servant leader, but we are the ones that are assisting the students. We're not just telling them what to do, but yes, we are there to help them and guide them up that mountain. I think that picture is appropriate, although it's stolen. I need to cite it, but servant leadership, it makes a difference. It might not be the quickest, safest, or simplest approach to teaching, but it is effective. Our goal is to demonstrate here that you can make a difference in the classroom, and I want to talk about this approach. The bottom line is there's not a lot of literature to the point where there's none. There is literature regarding K through 12, servant leadership in the K through 12 classroom. I believe someone did his dissertation on that, and then you'll always see it in Christian universities that, or not even universities, but any kind of Christian education. They'll pull into this concept, where I want to emphasize that this is not just for the Christian souls out there. This is for anyone, whatever faith you are, is irrelevant to being a servant leadership, a servant leader, I should say. So helping students, Patterson said that by empowering followers, servant leaders are allowing them freedom to proceed towards their goals, helping them make their dreams reality. Isn't that what we do? Wait, I want to see what you said here. I encourage students to, yes, that's a very good point. I mean, just today I keep marking off, points for this student who is not getting the concept of APA, and he is reaching out to me, and in that I'm able to help him. Somehow, in the online classroom, there has got to be a way to turn the student-teacher relationship into one where there is that they are convinced that we're here to help. I'll get to that a little bit later. The focus of the leaders is on the followers, and that, even if we adhere to servant leadership, we've got to sell it to the students. They've got to feel it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So these are the elements of servant leadership. They're to be humble and self-aware and to develop that trust. I think that's an element that is very important in the student leadership. The thing about humility, I think that's going to be another one for some faculty members to accept, because you know of the ones that I'm thinking about, the ones that how do I want to say it? They're little dictators in the classroom. They, it's my way or the highway, and if you just don't understand it, well, then why don't you read this? But you've got to reach the students on their level and then empower them. And especially when I have group activities in the online environment, I present it in a form where they are empowered to succeed. It's a different type of teaching when you do this. And this is the part that I want to present. Oh, I thought I heard a fire alarm and I'm at home. I'm like, wow, no, that wasn't it. Servant leadership in its secular form is based on non-Christian, secular, and religious ideas. Some people hear servant leadership and think that it's only Christ-based and that they need to be like Jesus. Well, they don't have to be to do this. But because of the different ideas and models, I just think that this is the best model for successful. And I want that. I mean, you can be a teacher in the online world, but do you sleep well at night? And this kind of came about because I came from a military-ish type background. I just posted on Facebook all the military in my family. And I tended to be a drill sergeant. Literally, if the assignment was due at midnight, and I'm ashamed to admit this, that I would stay up until midnight and then post the zeros for the ones that hadn't posted by 12:05. Did that leave me feeling comfortable with myself? Was there any humility or anything in that? Oh, heavens, no. There wasn't. And I had to get a grip on myself and said, this is not the way to be an effective teacher. This is wrong. And I looked at this because of my own perspective on this. I teach for a variety of institutions. Most of them are for-profit. For-profit sometimes put greed unfortunately, in front of other goals. And a servant leader is one that puts a follower first. I think if you look at the case studies of companies that adhere to the servant leadership model, they put the customer first. Well, who is our customer in the online environment? I believe it's twofold. It's the student, and it's also the constituents that hire those students. And we need to make those customers, we need to put them first. Students before profit. This just talks about this being an authentic form of leadership. I think this is the way that we should move towards. So here's the idea. I asked this in another presentation, and I had some other statements, questions that were related to leadership. But I would like to know through, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. I would like to know from you two, do you think faculty would be open to modeling servant leadership in the classroom? Do you think there's going to be some that are resistant or some that will support it? What are your thoughts on this? I'll share yes, exactly.
I think there would be plenty of support. I think that just coming up with ideas of how to implement it would be an issue.
For some people, and I'll give you an example. When I did my dissertation, I asked some of the touchy-feely questions, and I said, you know, do you think that they will, that it's important to reach the students, both meet their social and psychological needs? And one of my participants, which I happen to know who this person is, said, why the heck do we have to care about them? So there are going to be a certain element of the population of online faculty that are going to go, yeah, I get it. The customer first, I do see this. Then there's going to be, and those are probably the ones that are already doing the techniques and things. They would probably fulfill the model. However, there's going to be those that are just hardcore. Yes, exactly. There has to be a balance, yeah, don't misunderstand this as being the spoon-feeding, hand-holding type of teaching. That's not it. And what one of my mentors once said to me, because back in the day when I first started, I wanted everyone to be successful, and I didn't understand when students weren't successful because, well, that's the way I was. I always wanted to be successful, so why wouldn't anyone else be? But he reminded me in a rather blunt kind of way. He said, this is kind of like a cancer ward, and you're not going to save all the patients, no matter what you do, whether you hit them with a stick or you lure them with a carrot. Yes, there does have to be balance. So can the concept that faculty as servant leaders, I don't even know what that question says, but this is where I want to go with this. I believe that this is a time to review this, especially for the nonprofits and the things that are just changing in the educational environment. I believe we are at a stage where maybe it's because I've only been in higher education as an instructor for 16 years, but I think this is probably the most change from MOOCs to the nonprofits, the for-profits that are in here, the accreditation and everything. And what I want to do, and I'm thinking of doing, is doing reaching out to faculty through social media, through word of mouth, not just saying, I want to test the people at this school. I want to get a broad background of people, and that's the way I did my dissertation, and I've done several studies. Yes, I've used Facebook, not to administer the study per se, but to find the people who will take the study. And what I propose is to find some online educators and there are a couple of leadership assessments, servant leadership assessments that are out there and ready to be used. And what I would like to do is ask some qualitative questions in addition to this, to assess them to see if they are servant leaders, and if maybe through some analysis of the demographics, etc., seeing if some are already modeling that and what categories they fit into. Are they male, female, or age-related? Or I see a lot of different ideas with this study or potential study. Well, the last slide is just my my bio, but I wanted to share this. If you have any ideas or are open to anything, I would love your input on this. On another note, I love the collaborative effort of the Missouri and the Colorado Distance Learning Association, and I am going to schedule this again for another time this week so that we can maybe get some more input. So do you have any questions? I appreciate that you are here. I apologize for I'm not at work today, and I couldn't get it to work on my newer computer, so I went to Old Faithful. Servant learning can be done online. You know, I do, they're in my head, and maybe that's something that I could build into the study, is maybe maybe giving examples of you know, to see what their comfort level is. And that's kind of helping me think this through. Maybe giving them some examples of how they might handle situations, or which one would fall into a servant leadership versus something else. Wow, that would require some serious thinking, but I'm up for it. Oh, that sounds interesting. I personally teach ethics and social responsibility, organizational leadership, organizational management, organizational behavior. Oh, that's good.
McCormick, you could have your students work with local organizations to help the underprivileged
Jackie,
on their
do
resume
you
or that
think
sort of
it's
thing.
worth it for me to schedule this again for later in the week? I might look through my bag of tricks and see what other presentations I may have and add them too, and we can always announce them. Well, that's all that I have for today. It's not, oh wow, to me that would be a whole different study, or but that's very good, very good. I am meeting with somebody who, he doesn't know it, but the ideas that he's been presenting to me, and I've been encouraging him to present at the webinar series, and I think he will. I could see that by how you were talking about transcribing the videos. I had a clue that you might have something to do with ADA compliance.
Yeah, having the St. Louis Community College, they have their
very good, some very interesting ideas.
they have their stenographer students do their transcripts because there's always a need for transcribing, and those students need to practice their transcribing and typing ability, so it works out. It's a really great service opportunity there.
I'll be reaching out to you when I do this study, or maybe, you know, I could see a variety of studies here, so. All right. Well, that's all, folks. I probably should have used some fall pictures instead of some summer ones, but thank you. I'm sorry for the problems with, you know, getting on, but that was my fault. I apologize. This is in one of our beautiful parks in Denver, right by my old high school. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. And I probably won't do the scheduling until tomorrow, and I'm going to take the rest of the day and enjoy it and be with my husband, who is a vet. So translate that to mean I'm going out to lunch with him. Thanks. Bye.